retreat in Mount Shasta.
Yes.
Is where I'm from.
Was that fun?
It was fun.
All right.
And had some awakenings and realizations.
Oh.
The reason I'm in Sedona was for a ayahuasca retreat.
Oh, all right. How exciting.
Ayahuasca.
Oh, all right.
You said that.
Yes, I know.
So, there's a few questions I have.
Yes.
It felt like I entered into God's consciousness, core of it. I had like a violent nirvana.
Violent nirvana.
That's all I can do.
How exciting.
Yeah. I died and I resurrected.
In a sense, yes. You became aware of the fact that you die and resurrect billions of times a second.
Yeah. It hurt. So,
do you have a question?
Who is Julie to me?
I can't answer that for you. That has to come from another source.
What about Jesus?
I cannot answer those names for you. This has to come from another source. This entire category of question is not my job. It belongs to someone else who will give you that information.
So I have a spirit guide,
yes, you
permission slip. His name is Raven Feather, Oshitawa, and he's been guiding me along this journey.
It is far more likely that the answers to those questions will come from that guide, or at least some experience you will have with the teacher that you've already named from the earth. Anything else?
I feel called to move here and sell my house. I don't really have much of a direction. I'm just following the flow.
All right. If you are taking action on something that is representative of your passion, then take the action without any assumption that it has to necessarily come to fruition. It might, but it might not. The whole point sometimes of the form in which your passion comes is just to get you to move, to act on it, so that you can wind up where you need to be when what really needs to happen will happen. So never assume you know why the excitement or the curiosity or the attraction or the drive comes in the form that it does. But take the best action you can and see what happens. That will always be what keeps you directly on your path. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Anything else? Or do you have what you need to move forward?
Perhaps you could give me some advice on channeling.
Well, as I said, when you act on your passion and follow the formula, you are in a channeling state. So it's the most natural way to get there. It is an actual brainwave state called gamma, between 40 and 100 cycles per second, 40 and 100 hertz. When you follow your passion, you automatically go into the gamma range, into the channeling frequency. So following the formula of acting on your passion every moment that you can, taking it as far as you can, doing the best you can to act on it with absolutely zero insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be, and staying in a positive state no matter what manifests, is the formula that will keep you in the channeling state. It's that simple. We render it down into this instruction manual. Just follow the instruction, and you will remain in the channeling state. Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes.
Anything else?
I've been told I'm special or powerful, and
you are all special and powerful.
True.
So that is true. You are special and powerful like everyone. So all you have to do is act like it to know that you are.
That helps.
And we thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
Andrew, you good day.
I'm really thankful that you're my mirror today.
All right, and we are grateful for you as well.
Thank you. And I would like to thank the person who gave me this opportunity to ask a question of Bashar.
All right.
I have a few due to pet theme about my dog. So 1 month ago, me and my husband has decided, due to the frequent traveling, find new owners for our dog.
All right.
And
did you ask the dog for help in doing that?
Yes.
All right.
All the time.
All right. And?
I miss her a lot.
All right.
And my question is, what is my dog's best interest? To be with us or stay with a new loving family?
Do you have visitation rights?
Yes.
Will that suffice for you to be able to visit the dog now and then? And know that in the meantime, if you are not around, that the dog is in the care of a loving family, and yet you still get to participate, you still get to interact. Does that work for you or not? Yes or no? Hesitation usually means no. And if that doesn't work for you, then is there some other arrangement you can make whereby the dog can remain with you? Even while you act on your passion? If you are, in fact, acting on your passion to not have the dog? Can you answer any of these questions?
Yes. So I think I should speak not with you, but with new owners.
Yes.
Yes. So
that might be a wise thing to do.
Yes. If I may, the next question. One time my husband said that I might lack something inside me because I miss my dog. Is that true?
Not necessarily. It can be true, but not necessarily. That's why I've asked you to determine within yourself whether or not having the dog or not having the dog is actually true for you. Because if it isn't true for you, that the dog is somewhere else, then you will feel it perhaps as a lack. Because it might be telling you that the dog ought to be with you. But you have to determine that for yourself by figuring all this out in the way that I've described it to you. You may have to figure out a way of changing your lifestyle that is more compatible with having the dog, if that is really what is representative of your passion. You have to explore different probabilities to see what actually fits. Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. And the last question. It's very important to me.
Oh, all right.
So
I'm paying strict attention.
Yes. When I'm holding my dog, who gets the idea first of rubbing the belly? She sends it to my head, or because I enjoy rubbing the belly, she allows me to do it?
Are you asking which came first, the
Yes.
chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
But in a new and wholly unique way? Which comes first, the dog telling me to rub its belly or me thinking I should rub its belly?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question in return. Why is it important to know whether one came first or not? Can't they both simply simultaneously exist at the same time?
Okay.
Can't cause and effect be one moment instead of two?
So we both...
Can't you just be so vibrationally in tune that the asking and the knowing and the doing are all simply one action? And you don't have to break it apart into, well, who asked first? Who cares as long as the belly's getting rubbed?
Yeah. That is very true. I'm very happy for this interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nania.
Hello, Tatea.
Nania.
Okay, so here are some questions for you.
From
Ustream.
All right.
What do the children of now want to tell us?
First of all, we sense that the person that asked that question knows the answer very well. obviously, the children of now are teaching many things to the so-called adults who need to understand in some ways, not every way, but in some ways, how to think more like children, how to be their childlike self that is open to more of creation, so that the imagination can ignite and they can become creative in the ways in which they create space and experiences for children to learn what they need to learn to exist as physical beings. So it takes the idea of an adult becoming a creative child in a way that will allow the child to grow into a creative adult.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
When a person starts to follow the formula and they start having an overwhelming amount of opportunity come their way.
Well, it won't be overwhelming. It will be exactly correct when they follow the formula. Following the formula cannot create an overwhelm.
So what does that mean if the person is feeling overwhelmed?
Then they're not exactly following the formula. They must be off kilter from the formula somehow. Because again, remember, one of the tools in the kit is the organizing principle of synchronicity. And therefore, if you're actually truly allowing it to do the organizing, you won't feel overwhelmed because things will only be presented to you in the order and with the timing required for the accomplishment of those things. You won't be given more than the moment requires if you're actually following the formula.
And it's also an idea of just do what appears to be the next most exciting thing instead of, just weigh it out. And if there's not that much of a difference between one or the other, then it doesn't really matter which one you choose.
Correct, because if there actually needs to be a difference, choosing the one that isn't correct for you, synchronicity, again as the organizing principle, will turn you around to the one that is correct. That's what we mean by organizing principle. It won't let you go astray if you're willing to listen to it.
Okay.
So, someone who is feeling overwhelmed has a slight misunderstanding of how they're using the formula. Something is a little off kilter. Or a negative belief is being revealed to them that they need to deal with, but they're not dealing with it.
If you choose to stop believing in the physical dream and feel attracted towards being a pure spirit,
yes,
does the human body register this and let our soul out of it once and for all?
Well, again, it depends. It depends on why that might happen for that person if it is necessary for fulfilling a certain theme of exploration. It's something that generally isn't common because you sort of make an agreement with yourself that you'll kind of play things out. You already know the duration that is necessary for the process you wish to experience and the theme you wish to explore in physical reality. And so in general, that will not happen. But there might be some cases where it can. But you would have to examine that particular case to see what the reasons are for why that appears to manifest that way.
So at what level of consciousness does a human decide to leave the physical body?
Well, on the spirit level, because again, you typically set that up in general for yourself, again, speaking linearly, before the life.
So a decision of whether or not to, quote unquote, die in a car accident because the body is...
It doesn't necessarily have to be that specific. It can be. But generally speaking, people will usually choose any particular doorway out that comes along randomly on Earth when it's falling within the general window of time that it's okay for them to have agreed to leave. So it might just be, all right, somewhere between now and then, whatever comes along that is the most efficient for me, that works best for me, then that will be what I allow myself to experience, and I will leave if I need that kind of a mechanism. Now, you can get to a point where you can also, as I said, just lie down and leave. That's what we do. We just leave, but of course we don't leave a body behind. It converts into energy.
And that actually converted into the next question, which was, when a Sasani dies or ascends, do you experience a form of grief?
No.
Do you engage in any rituals?
No.
Or do you rejoice with
Yes.
the ascending person?
Yes. Because again, remember that at our point in evolution, we're not out of touch with them. We're not out of contact with them. Do you understand?
Yes.
We can still communicate with them. So it's not like they've gone anywhere particular that we can't get in touch with them for. They're just in a different state now.
So when you all don't sleep, how do you connect with spirit?
By being almost at the point of being spirit. Remember, we are quasi-physical, exhibiting traits of physicality and spirit. So we can simply communicate with spirits, par for the course, as easily as you talk to a friend sitting next to you.
So do you get to the point where, I know like on Earth, sometimes you can take like a power nap, like for 10 minutes, and then somehow by connecting with spirit, you're rejuvenated.
Well, yes, but that's your way of doing it, because most of you don't necessarily know that you are spirit experiencing a physical reality. But we know that. Therefore, we don't have to pretend to connect because we never feel disconnected.
And the idea of us sleeping, that's our technology in a sense of connecting in with spirit.
It's recharging your batteries to continue to have a physical reality which isn't real. It's convincing yourself to keep going and playing the game. It's like taking a momentary break while you're playing chess to sort of reassess your strategy and then get back into the game.
Yeah, because like you said, you will become psychotic if you don't sleep.
Yes, because you won't have a strategy. You won't have a plan. You won't have a template. You won't have a blueprint.
So there's actually more to understand about what happens when we sleep and how we connect with spirit and what's actually happening during that time that we may be exploring at some point in the future.
The subject of another transmission entirely.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else. I know someone asked whether or not you're married because you have a lot of people who like you.
Was that a question?
That was a question that came from someone.
Everyone in our society, in a sense, is in a single marriage to each other. And we are in a marriage with all of you already in the service that we provide for you. And the reflections and the information that we share with you is a form of marriage. But we don't have the rituals that you have on your planet, for they are unnecessary.
Well, on that note...
Is it time for your break?
It is.
Then please take a short break. We will resume this transmission for your holotope meditation to crystallize in the idea of children of the future.
We will resume contact in approximately 15 minutes.